Okay, this video talks about solving equations. You might not have come across the word equations before. Equations are basically sums with an equal sign in. So you've got something on the left and something on the right, and they both are equal the same. Remember, equals means is worth the same as. So the idea is you need to find the value of the mystery number in the sum or in the equation. It's a bit like finding the price of an object. The rules are very similar to fractions. Whatever you do to the left, you must do to the right. And we use these arrows. Down the side here to actually show that we're doing the same. And we write in what we're doing on the left and on the right. I like to put it in circles to make it really stand out. So when you give the answer, for this example, you'd have to give the answer as A equals, which basically means, what does an apple cost? An apple costs, and then you give the answer. So, to work that out, okay, 4 apples cost 20. So we need to find out the cost of 1 apple. So, to change 4 apples into 1 apple, because 4 apples is 4 times an apple, you have to do the opposite of timesing, which is dividing. So we're going to divide by 4. If we divide 4a by 4, we will get a, and then we have to do the same to the other side. So 20 divided by 4 would be 5. That gives us the price of an apple as being 5p. Does that seem reasonable if 4 apples cost 20? Well, yes, it does, because 4 lots of 5 give 20. Let's try a couple of examples. In a different shop, 6 apples is worth the same as 18. So what we're going to do here is we need to give it as A equals. Okay, so we're going to funnel down on this side and funnel down on that side. How do we change 6 times A into A? Well, we do the inverse, which is divide by 6. Whatever you do to the left, you also do to the right. So on the left we get A, and on the side on the right hand side we will get 18 divided by 6 is 3. So an apple costs 3. So does that make sense? Would 6 apples cost 18? Yes, they would. Another example, 5 apples cost 30. So this is 5 times A. Let's funnel down, put our equals in the middle. We want A equals, so we've got to divide by 5, which is the inverse. We do the same over here. So 5 apples divided by 5 would just give you 1 apple. 30 divided by 5 would give you 6. The price of an apple is 6. Another example from a different shop. 7 apples cost 28. Let's funnel down with our arrows and put our equals in the middle. We divide by 7 to give us just A on the left, and we divide by 7 over here to give us 28 divided by 7 is 4. An apple costs 4. Now sometimes you don't have like a timesing sum or a combination of a particular item like 4a or 6b. So you need to look at the other signs that come up in these equations. The ones we've done so far had like a timesing element, so we do the opposite, which is divide. If you see a plus sign, you do the opposite, which is minus. If you see a minus, you do the opposite, which is plus. If you see a dividing element in it, then you do the opposite, which is timesing. Now that sounds like gobbledygook at the moment, but you'll see through these examples how it works. Let's say somebody tells you A plus 5 equals 8. Right, we need to give our answer for what A is worth as A equals. So what do we need to get rid of? This is the bit we need to get rid of. So we've got a plus 5. What's the opposite? The opposite would be take 5. Again, you do it on the right. So take away 5 from the left and you get A. Take away 5 from the right and you get 3. So an apple costs you 3. Does that make sense? Let's go back to the original equation. An apple add 5 would give you 8. Yes, it does, if we substitute in the 3 for the apple at the beginning. Another example, A plus 6 equals 10. So we need A equals as our answer. Let's get rid of this bit here. Arrows down the side. Instead of plus 6, the inverse is take 6. On both sides. We get A on the left. 10 take 6 is 4, so A is 4. This one's got a minus in it. Okay, so we need to give the answer as B equals. Let's get rid of this bit. Instead of taking 3, we add 3, and we do it on both sides. So we get B on the left and we get 10 add 3 on the right, which is 13. So banana costs 13. Does that make sense? A banana, take away 3, gives you 10. Yes, 13 take 3 is 10. Another example, B take 6 is 10. We need B equals. Let's get rid of this bit. Okay, add 6 here, the inverse of take 6. Add 6 here. And we'd end up with 10 add 6 is 16. Now this one is actually one with a division element, though it's not that obvious at first. This bit here actually means divide by 5. So if we need an answer of D equals, we need to do the opposite of dividing by 5, which is timesing by 5. That's a bit messy. Let me write it again. That's a bit better. And over this side, we're going to times by 5 as well. So we get D on the left and we get 50 on the right. One more example here. We need to give x equals, so we've divided it by 3. So what is the opposite? We times by 3. So we have x equals, well, 4 times 3 is 12. That is very, very challenging. Don't worry if you find that very hard at first, because that seriously is top end year 6, bottom year 7. Very hard. So stick with it and you'll do well.